Okay, now this will be part 2, because that one got cut off a little early. Unconditional love for all beings everywhere without one exception is where we had stopped. Honoring all the frequencies fully, allowing them through us, and feeling them. Now, there are ways that we relate these energies to things that are happening in our lives. So, when we look at the world around us, we see these things occurring, and we have judgments of these things. So, sometimes we have judgments of the very top in society. We think that these are evil men that are doing things directly against us, against our children, against many things, shapes, and forms. Now, there's a place in understanding that we can see that actually these beings are somehow us. Now, are they literally this part of ourselves? Well, actually, we could see that as true. Yes, we could do that. And when we come to forgiveness for these things, when we come to an unconditional understanding of wishing to heal these things, because we know that all of these things have occurred so that we can come to a place in ourselves of liberation. And so we personally are the cause of these things, because we needed to see these things or else we would not be liberated. And it's very sad as well. We could feel sad. We'd be like, oh my goodness, these things are happening, because without it I would not be free. I would not have been motivated. I would not have had the strength, or I would not have had the motivation to move where it is I needed to move, and to come to the place that I needed to come to, so that I would become free. So all of these things have happened for me and not against me, and I can't believe the things that have happened for me. Look at that. That thing over there has happened for me, and it's terrible. It's like, oh, I wish I would have been, less this or more that, in order for that to not have to occur, But we take responsibility, we take accountability, and we don't judge ourselves either. We forgive ourselves, and we forgive the path, and we understand that we were ignorant. We did not know, and when we did know, then we could feel, oh no, okay, well, let's fix this. Let's do something about this then. Let's take responsibility for what we have done and what is going on, and let's do something about this. And what is it that we can do about this? Let's find that first. Let's figure out what we can do, and then let's do it. What is our purpose? How do we do this? And there's a lot to learn, so don't hurt yourself or hate yourself for not knowing it all right now. There's a big process of learning. There's a huge process of growth. You're going to have to see it in this angle. You're going to have to experience it in that angle. You have to experience that angle, to where finally you can come into a place of balance. But this balance will come. So once setting forth in this amazing intention for the benefit of all of yourself, for the benefit of all beings everywhere without one exception, you will be brought through the book of life, which is everything occurring around us, the amazing teachings that you need to be brought to, in order for you to understand these things in a well-balanced manner. So yes, you'll move through this, and maybe you'll become into confusion again, maybe you'll judge yourself again, maybe you'll go this again, and that's okay, don't worry. Now eventually you'll notice that you're doing this, and you'll be like, oh geez, I'm doing this again, okay, how do I fix this, what do I do? And then you move through the different motions that brought you before through certain channels, and then you'll be able to move again through these things in bravery. You come back and you'll understand, okay, that's me doing that, okay, that's me doing that, okay, that's me doing that, and I will have now directly experienced these things in a very mindful fashion, to where I can see these, I can integrate these new teachings, I can see, oh, okay, nah, this is the way, this is the way, okay, this is, until eventually, all of your judgments cleared, and now you're not really worried about anything anymore. You're feeling much more free, you're feeling much more confident, you're feeling much more in trust, feeling much more perfect, and you're like, okay, hey, alright, I'm able to, kind of do anything. This is nice, I can do whatever I want. So, and I'm always for, I'm never against. But you'll have to move through all your judgments of this, it's one thing for me to tell you, it's another thing for you to know this. So we always come to a place of knowing, because when we don't know, we feel very flimsy. Anybody can come up and tell us anything, and we feel shaken by it, and we get triggered, and all of these different things. So it comes to these amazing rivers of energy that flow through us. Happiness, sadness, all of these things are flowing through. And sometimes we even cut off flows like happiness. We say, no, we can only be this happy. We can only be that happy. We can only be happy in this particular situation. But we can't be happy in this situation. Who would be happy at a funeral? That would be silly, obviously. And maybe you would never be happy at a funeral, but maybe you could be happy at a funeral. Maybe you say, well, this guy actually had a party at his funeral, and then we were all, he just wanted us to celebrate him, so we had a great time there. Or this person was very sad and dreary, their family didn't want to have a party. And so, I empathized with them, and I moved through, and I felt all their emotion. And that is gorgeous when you synchronize in this way, when you bring the harmony, and when you allow things to move through you. Because that's what we're doing. So there's really no reason for you to think of yourself as the angry one. You're not angry. You're not hateful. There's anger and hate existing around you. We've labeled them to be these things, but we could change their words once we see their wisdom expression. But this is the words that we use now because they're appearing in these ways constantly through whatever ignorance is occurring. So when this man over here feels this energy and you happen to be around, it immediately hits you. You're like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Now I'm feeling all this anger and hate, or however it is, sadness, madness, happiness, love. You're feeling all of these different things. And now you're attributing them to yourself. Now they've hit you, and maybe you judge them, and now you're going to judge you. You're like, oh, now I'm angry. Oh, no. And you're clenching the channel even more. Like, no, I don't want to be angry. I'm a happy person. I'm a happy person. I'm this, I'm that, and the other. Well, you're not any person. There's none of that. Nothing at all. You just are. You're a being. You're an empty being. You're an empty vessel. You are nothing entirely. You are energy moving. You are rivers of energy, but you are not any of these one rivers. These things are just happening. They're coming through. You have no choice. They're just going on. You have the choice to identify with them or to not identify with them. You do have a choice in this way, but they're not really anything that's happening. The world, you may even just be alone in the forest and come up on a place that has a pool of stagnant energy, a whirlpool of energy hanging out there. And it's good that you've come by because now it can clear through a superconductor, a steward of the land, that's able through its natural motion to produce the yoga of life and then clear this energy and the stagnated energy for all of the forests around it. Maybe you'll notice that there's a lot of darkness in that area. There's a lot of shade. There's not a lot of life or growth. Notice that a lot of the trees around there are rotting, and actually it's lucky that such an amazing instrument of creation came through, such as yourself, because now you can move that stagnated energy in such a way that the trees will regain life, the plants will now grow better, the butterflies will come through, the bees will start to pollinate beautiful flowers, animals will come through. It'll be gorgeous, it'll be really wonderful. The poisonous things will go away to what is necessary, because there are need for these things as well. So I'm not saying be upset with poison. Poison's beautiful as well. Other things to not, hate in the flow of life, to judge. But yes, so being a superconductor, you can imagine yourself as just like a little beam of light. And while you're not judging anything, when you're completely empty, when you just have like no ego at all, things just move through you like a star, like you're a star. There's a little gateway portal. And then you create ego identity of some kind, and you now have a certain form. And you've decided that you're happiness, and you're joy, and you're gentle, and you're quiet, and you're just these very preferred things, And now another energy comes through because you're still a superconductor, and it's, hey, I want to go, but now it can't, so now it sticks with you. And so now, next energy comes through. It wants to go through, but it can't. And then, now this starts to create a whole other thing. You've been keeping different things with you, or deciding that you are certain things, but you're not actually really those things, because when those things hit you, they go through. Gentleness just goes through. Happiness just goes through. You hold those things where they're open, but now anger sticks. Hate sticks. Sadness sticks. You're like, man, I'm always thwarted by this thing, I'm like, geez, I always have this problem going on with me. But I'm a very gentle person, and I'm just going to work through this. I'm going to breathe. Holding through, okay. I'm going to be gentle. Hey, back off me! It's like, what happened there? What's going on? Because you're holding energies with you. You're not allowing energies just to flow through. You could do this, but you judge these energies way too much to allow them to flow through. What if they stick with you for too long? You don't ever have to let them stick with you. The Buddha was somebody who was able to not have anything stick at all. So you could spit in his face, and he was not affected by this. He was like, oh yeah, I'll let that energy flow right through. No problem. I don't judge myself. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I don't care if they think, hey, you're just going to let that guy spit in your face? It's like, yes, it's such a blessing. This guy spit in my face. And like, high five. Got it. Yes. Thank you so much, bro. That was great. Super spectacular. And now that all of his energies is done. He's like, well, I was mad, and now I think you're the best in the world for some reason. I don't know. Thank you for helping me move that energy. I was having trouble moving, I guess. I didn't even notice that was what was happening, but I can't really explain what happened, but I feel great. I'm going to go back tomorrow and apologize, and you're going to tell me for what? You didn't even do anything. I don't even know who that person was that did that. Because you're not even your energy, you're not even your emotions, you're not any of these things. These things are not you. So there's no reason to be worried about them being perceived as you. You're empty. You're a star. You're not any of these. You can decide to keep them with you, and that's okay. It's an ignorance, but it's also a perfection, because when you do this, you're going to go around and you're going to cause all kinds of different events to occur, and at any time that you so decide, you can do it in a different way, and you can still move energy for other people and still help them out. Except for maybe, from this point you may have some form of understanding that is really, really beautiful that you can share with them if you feel so prompted. Or, just be there, sitting, being good, however you want. You can do anything. You can jump, you can play, you can use any energy that you want. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this energy right now to do this, I'm going to use this energy right now to do this, and I'm going to do this on a very balanced and wisdom way. Now I can use all of my energies because they're constantly flowing through me. I can have them all working together as one expression. It's amazing, a phenomenal thing. So yeah, so boom, comes in, boom, comes in, like a baby. A baby is not holding back any energy. It's allowing all this energy to come through it naturally, just as it is. It's causing it to cry, it's causing it to do that. Now when we're kids, we're taught not to do this. We're like, no, stop this. You must be this way because you're bothering and disturbing me. Why are you bothering and disturbing your parents? Because these are energy reflections that they do not accept within themselves. So, of course, when they see it within their child, what do they want to do? They want to suppress it. Do they realize that their child is being their wisdom teacher? Is showing them, hey, you could be like me. You could express, and you can see how amazingly healing this expression is. You could express for a long time. I'm going to cry forever right now. And they're like, oh, no, this is not good. But even people have said that crying as a baby is actually really great for the strengthening of the vocal cords. So eventually, if you cried them out when you're a kid, you're a great singer perhaps. Who knows? Really fun. All kinds of different motions. We don't teach children to move their feet as fingers. But children are teaching themselves to do this when they're very young. You'll see them wiggling their toes, you see them doing all kinds of things. But then they watch us, and because we're directing them so much, we're like, be like me, be like me, be like me. They start to get the program. They're like, okay, I gotta be like this person here. But man, if we just let them go, and they just be themselves, and be like, yeah, man, do that. Do everything that you're doing. You're doing awesome. You're doing so good. Now they become this really unique, very wise, very loose, very limber, amazing, phenomenal expression that really is off-putting to us because we're kind of rigid. We're like, goodness, should this kid be doing this? I don't know. Just doing whatever he wants to do all the time. It's crazy. I won't do that. Why can't he do that? You're not allowed to do that. You're fucking me up. I don't do that. You can't do that. I would like to do that, but nobody would accept me for doing that. So you're not accepted either. No, you can't cry anymore. I don't care how much you feel it. I want you to suppress that cry. That's enough of that. I don't care how much energy you have to move through yourself. I don't even care that really you're just a ball of light, and it's not your energy, and that you're moving my energy for me. I don't care. You're not allowed to move my energy for me anymore. Stop healing me. You stop it right now. So, all kinds of things can happen. We see crazy people doing this for us all the time. We're like, wow, that person's crying all the time, they're yelling all the time. It's like, well, yeah, but they're clearing a ridiculous amount of energy for the collective at this time as well. I'm not saying that you have to do it in that kind of a fashion. There's also what appears to be an imbalance in some way to me a lot of the times. I do believe that there's a more balanced way to be able to express and move energies through, just breathing and allowing in these kinds of ways, but still being very expressive, but we're able to speak in society still, a lot of these people are on drugs and all kinds of things, and that's maybe clogging their ability to express in a certain manner. Maybe they're afraid to talk to you directly about certain things. I am not afraid to do this, so I don't know, maybe it helps me be more balanced, maybe it doesn't. We'll be focusing on that later in life when I learn more about this. So, it's amazing. I think that we actually covered quite a big amount of ground here, and I think it's very beneficial. Talking about the circuitry of the trees, talking about connecting with them, staying with them longer, the more patience we have, the more awareness we have, the more we're interested in these celestial bodies, the more we're interested in appearing at light. Light frequencies are really amazing, and just through looking at light frequencies, we can actually start to connect with these frequencies, and we can start to move these frequencies within us. I happen to be a resonator, and so you have a specific energy body and reflection to yourself that takes in energy in a specific manner at this time. For me, I can resonate extremely well. I can resonate to many things. I'm a manifesting generator in human design, so I'm like a source point of energy. The more energy I put out, the more energy I receive. I constantly create my own energy. I'm a free energy generator. I'm a toroidal field generator in a certain sense, and so the more I share, the more I receive, and it's the most amazing thing for me. So I could do this literally forever, always, and just feel completely refilled just through the act of giving. And that's an amazing thing. Giving is receiving, receiving is giving. And I can't say what will happen for you, or how it will feel for you, or for you, or for you, or for you, or for you, depending on all kinds of things. Even blood type can show, like I'm a universal receiver, so I accept everybody's blood. There's not a single blood that I cannot accept. Yeah, which for me is reflective on, my life path. I've been able to love every one of you, and I do. I accept every frequency entirely. I'm not saying that your blood type will stop you from doing this. I don't see why it would. But maybe it has something to do with it, maybe it doesn't. I just think it's a very poetic thing, and it makes me pretty happy. I'm like, yeah, man, I love everything. We can all love everything, surely. It's all of ourselves. Maybe it can be harder to understand certain things, but maybe we can just understand that we don't have to understand them, and that we can just have understanding for them, even if we don't understand. We can do all kinds of things. But the main thing is coming in love with ourselves, with our own frequency, with our own energy bodies, and all the amazing strands and rivers of life that flow through us, that are not us. They are just simply things that need movement. So eventually we'll have everything moving very smoothly and never getting blocked off, and now every river of light is flowing very amazingly for not just this, our personal selves, but for every bit of ourselves. And we see a really amazing fluidity, a symbiosis, a synchronized movement. We'll see everything moving extremely well together. No longer having car accidents or anything, or any of these strange clenchings of energy that cause these kinds of events. But everything will move in an amazing harmony and a phenomenal balance with one another, to where no longer can they hit in certain points anymore. They just stick together in such gorgeous ways. Just wow. Everything working with one another perfectly, in honor of one another perfectly, moving in the greatest of harmonies with each other all the time. It's amazing the way that we can all move when we're in balance, when we love all the rivers of life that flow through us. It's so great, so gorgeous, and then we can all live a much happier life. And so all of the world can do this, everything honoring one another perfectly, moving together perfectly, and no longer having any rigidity to our motion, any kind of clashing, any kind of combating. Then we're all honoring, synchronizing, balancing, moving in just amazing symmetry. And that'll be wonderful. When we can move in that way, that'll be really gorgeous for all of us. We'll be super excited, super happy. It'll be super gorgeous and beautiful. Moving with the breath, moving with life, having no fear, honoring everything, moving through, expressing powerfully, and the motion of everything, and feeling completely content in that motion as well. Like, this is great. Every moment's a new moment. Every dance is a new dance. Everything that we do is a new thing that we're doing, and it's so much fun to fully express ourselves in any way that we are. Express this energy, we express this energy, we express that energy, we express all of these energies, moving our bodies, feeling pleasure, feeling pain, feeling whatever it is we want to feel. Maybe we never feel pain again. Maybe pain really is not necessary for us to feel at a certain point. This would make a lot of sense to me, really. Why do we feel pain? But to tell us, hey, you're going too far. It does give contrast, yes. But it is not a contrast that I believe will be forever necessary for our learning and growth. And so if it is not relevant to our learning and growth, if it is not a benefit, it will not be occurring. I don't need to feel pain right now in order to feel wonderful. Well, I need to feel pain after this in order to know what wonderful is? No, 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 I've felt pain before. I won't forget what it feels like. When I feel it, it's not something that I'm too enjoying. Though, at times when I find the center, it does seem that pain and pleasure was necessary for me to find that center, and so I'll honor all of the path, honor the pain and pleasure scenarios, but I know also that there's a point of pleasure that I'm not looking to feel either. There's a point of pain that I'm not looking to feel. I like this wonderful, balanced, center, smooth place that just feels so wonderful, so amazing. Oof. Feels so good. Oh. So great to come into balance. Very happy to be here with you now today, to have felt what to bring through, and to be able to transfer it over to you. There are many things that I focus on and other times, and it is funny things to be focusing on, talking about judgment in different ways, different perceptions I've had. But this is nice because this speaks more just about experience and about how energy is moving and how we can work with it and work through it, how we can apply certain energies to ourselves, energies such as unconditional love, which can take the form of forgiveness, of understanding, of the asking for forgiveness from our frequencies that we have banished from ourselves. So we've clogged a frequency and we haven't allowed the river of its wisdom to flow through us, so we could say we're sorry for our lack of understanding that has caused it to be pinched and clogged, because it wanted to be this amazing river flowing just constantly through, unimpeded. Then we dammed it and we closed it, and now it's this whoosh, crazy, huge, blocky fashion where all this energy is stuck. It's like, whoa, man, I'm trying to get through this thing, but it has to move through, and for it, it's also painful. It's like, jeez, making me small. I have to fit through this tiny block, and this energy that was built up here was supposed to be relieved lifetimes ago. It was supposed to go, and it's been here waiting for lifetimes to find its rightful positioning within the whole of everything and be a wisdom energy. So it's like, whoa, let's open that, allow it to come through, and honor it fully. Oh, I'm so sorry, for lifetimes and lifetimes, for thousands of years, millennia, for millions of years perhaps, I've been clogging that energy from its rightful position in life, and I've been deciding I'm the rightful one. And who's that I? But an identity, but an ego, an agreement that this is who I am by preference, through fear understanding, through judgment understanding, or through any of these things. And so finally we can come into a place in ourselves that has true understanding for this energy and says, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you for everything that you've done, thank you for still being with me now, because I understand now that without you I could not be free, I could not be an amazing being. None of these things could be in the great beauty, the things that I love and that I treasure, and that I have actually been causing the darkness in the world, that I've actually been causing the shadows to be occurring. I've actually been causing these things through my judgment and through my constricting of these channels. And so I just like to thank you very much for being here with me and for loving me all of this time and being so strong. And I also could also maybe think now in this moment that, you know, maybe you hadn't had a choice, and that it's just that you could never be destroyed and that you could never be separated from me, that there's everything here existing equally and there's not a single piece that could fall away because we're all one thing. And so I'm so sorry for not realizing this and not understanding, and thank you for being so strong this whole time. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, pono pono. Please flow freely and be welcomed back into harmony with me. And may I see how my judgments of your frequency are happening in the world around me, but really through understanding myself, I can come to understand others and how they, as well as I, have these shared egoic understandings in the sense that they don't see you as the wisdom energy you are. And so they also are ignorant. And they also are innocent in their ignorance. And so I must come also to forgiveness for them and forgiveness for everything. And through my place of now higher understanding, it is now my responsibility, my duty, to bring these teachings to others, to help them through where it is they are, through being able to be unconditional love and learning what it means to do this, and learning the way to bring this energy in a balanced manner, in the way that is of greatest help and opportunity to all of those that I meet, from wherever it is they happen to be within their frequency, that I constantly upgrade my language in the way in which I articulate my experience to be able to better suit people no matter where they are or how they are. So maybe they're at this part or at this part. How do I approach them in a way that meets them in their language and helps them from where they're at see whatever it is that they're able to see? And then we can start to focus and see how many things are our own personal judgment and how many things are clogging rivers of life. And that we say, well, no, we're not judging the world around us. We just think it's not good for us. Well, sometimes, even though it doesn't seem as if we're judging the world around us, there's always this thought when we have a preference, a favorite, that somebody else is doing something not quite right. Because we've decided what was right for us to do and what was wrong for us to do. And when we look at somebody else who's doing something that we have decided for us to do wrong, we may say that's okay that they're doing wrong. We're not going to judge them for doing wrong, but we still have this belief that they're doing wrong. And we can dress it up and we can paint it in any direction that we wish to paint it to better suit our wish to not be judgmental, our wish to not do this or not to do that. But we eventually will have to be very honest with ourselves and say, you know, actually, I am still doing that somehow. How can I not do that? And this is where I really love Buddhist practice, a practice of one taste. And so feast, they have many offerings on the plate, many offerings on the table. And whether it be meat or vegetable, vegan, cookie, sugar, or GMO or not GMO, or wine or water, you are to see none of these things as different than the other, you know. And this is a dangerous vehicle, they say, because you're taking in all the poisons. And so you could be caught in going towards one of these poisons, liking it and preferring it, you know. But it's about a practice of one taste. So there's no difference between this item and this item and this item and this item. They are all equal. They are all the same. I have no favorite. I have no preference. It's all one. All one taste. All the same. This is a beautiful thing. And so all of life then is translated through that feast as a practice of one taste, having not preference for this or for that, but seeing all things as equal, all expressions as equal, all things as glorious, all things as desirable, or all things as non-desirable, all things neutrally, equally the same. It's amazing, you know, to find this within all of the realms of frequencies, instead of saying, I like happiness more than sadness. I like madness more than anger. I like whatever this is more than this is. And then we can find ourselves more balanced. We can find ourselves unconditionally loving ourselves in every moment, in every way. And we can see through then the process of life, once we come into these understandings, how we're not doing this. and how we could do this better in this way, or how we could do this more in this way, or how we are still clogging ourselves in this way, how we do prefer this part, or this part, or this part. And we can constantly then, through being open to learning, allow ourselves to expand in all directions, in all ways, and constantly monitoring, okay, let me feel this. Yes, okay, I was limiting myself there. Oh, man, that took me a whole year to see this time. I can't believe that. For a whole year this time. Let me move through that. 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 I sit down and I relax. Okay. I breathe. Oh, when this person looks at me like this, oh, wait a minute. Okay, what could I do? I could understand. I could just move that energy through. I don't have to judge the energy. I could even express what the energy is, but I don't have to judge it in any way. And I can just, and I can love them, and I can be there for them and not against them. And I can do this in many different ways. And so we start to find out love is everything. And we start to learn how to express that love in balance, in authenticity, in genuinity, in the moment that we're given. And we start to release ourselves from our ego identity, thinking that we have to be this way or we have to be that way, and then we can be in every way. And sometimes we express anger, or sometimes we express happiness, and sometimes we express whatever we express. But whatever we're expressing this in a balanced fashion that is actually helping. We release our choice and our control, our need to manipulate and to command things around us. And then we start to allow ourselves to be commanded, in a sense, by our truest self, our heart. We allow the moment to direct us, and we start to learn who we truly are and what we are really like, and how it is that we truly move when we're moving fully in unison, like the birds that fly and swoop, that will do a cool little swooping fashion before they land on a branch, seemingly unnecessary, but they're flowing with the river of life. They're flowing with the natural motion of the ocean all around us. And so when we as humans finally move in our natural motions, we'll see what that really is, and we'll start to feel much more free. And then in every moment we can move in these really amazing ways and find ourselves expressing really confidently, really powerfully, in manners that help to move things through our brothers and sisters. Maybe we yell with one another, maybe we cry with one another, maybe we are happy with one another, and maybe then we're healing through the conduit channel that is ourselves, an empty vessel. We're allowing it to move through us, like, whoa, allowing it to move through us. We're not combating it, we're not fighting it, we're not attacking and defending anymore. We're just being the truth of ourselves, the authentic expression of ourselves, the genuinity that is ourselves. And in doing this, we are being the wisdom of non-action. Even in all the things that we are doing, we are non-doing. We are allowing, we are trusting, we are surrendering. We are being the limitless state of ourselves that we always are, without the need for our mind to direct it. We can just be. And that's really what we're here to do, is be, and be so fully in every way that we can be. And right now, we're in these other expressions that are beautiful and are perfect and are not things to judge, but these are gateways for us to come deeper into ourselves. So